and welcome to Amethyst Star Crafting. My name is Jane Ormark and I'm a UK independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. And today is the 1st of October, so I thought I would start our Christmas countdown. However, this year I'm going to do a Christmas countdown budget friendly. I think all of us at Christmas time, we want to make lots of crafts, but we want to try and make the most out of all our stamp sets. And there are going to be so many projects all over the internet using lots of different things. And I thought that this year we would make it very budget friendly. So the first one that we are going to make is using this stamp set, Beauty and Joy. It's a 13-piece stamp set with various different trees, a Christmas sentiment, a so thankful, so Thanksgiving, which we don't have in the UK, but so thankful. And then you've got a May Your Day Bloom with Beauty and Joy, which will cover any other time of year. So a lovely stamp set. Now, the great thing about this stamp set in the budget friendly is it is only £15. So I'm going to try and find it quickly in here because I should have marked it, but I didn't. So let me have a quick look and see. It is one of my favourite ones. And what I was going to say as well is that I think most of you will have a copy of the catalogue. If by any chance you've missed out on one and you would like one, then please just let me know and I'd be more than happy to send one out to you in the post. So I'm faffing about as normal because I need to try and find this one. There's, as you can see, lots and lots and lots in here. But what I want to try and do is to make everything budget friendly. So we're going to use one stamp set. And over the first week, 5 days, or 5 different projects, I am going to, here it is, I am going to show you 5 different projects that you can do with this one stamp set. So this stamp set is £15. It's a distinctive, which is a registered stamp method of ours, which allows you to print, or when you stamp it, it comes out almost sort of photographic, so it gives you all sorts of depth and shading just with that one stamp. So £15, that is all you need to spend. And I'm going to show you, as I say, in the first 5 projects using this Beauty and Joy. So let's start with project number 1. So again, I wanted to make something that was going to be very pretty for Christmas, but something that you can use. And you can make 2 out of 1 sheet of A4 cardstock. So 1 sheet of cardstock, and it's a pretty little. I've ramped it up a bit, but the next one we're going to do is going to be fairly simple. I've just done. There's these little jingle bells which are very sweet, and I've just put that on with some of the Merry Christmas ribbon. Just as a little belly band on there to add a little bit of extra something on there. So slides off fairly easily. It's a hinged box, which inside I've just put a couple of flake chocolates. It'll fit chocolates, it'll fit jewellery, it'll fit whatever you want it to fit. But a nice, neat, easy little box to make. And as I say, there's a little belly band that you can put round. You could put a belly band with paper. You could put a belly band with whatever you want. I've just done it with a little bit of ribbon, and on camera, am I going to fiddle to be able to get it on? Probably, and I'm going to do it. So we are in the beginning of October. I can't believe how quickly the time has gone. It's quite incredible that that we're going to be almost up to Christmas very soon. And right, it does go on. Thought I'd show you it would. So as I say, just a little bit of fiddling, but once it's on, you can then slide it into place wherever you want. And I've put it so that it comes exactly where halfway through the words on Merry Christmas. So very easy to do if you happen to have those extra supplies. But we are just going to be using this stamp set today. So let's get started. We need a piece of cardstock, and I have just get my measurements out because I have to write everything down as my brain goes. So the actual size of the box itself is 4 inches by 2 inches with a 1 inch depth. So a nice size of box. We need to cut, so you can cut out of your piece of A4, even if you are European or international or whatever, 1 sheet of cardstock, cut it down the middle, and it is going to be 11 inches by 4 inches. Okay, so you can get 2 of them out. So I'm doing the second one out of this. Then with your scoreboard, if you don't have a scoreboard, you can use a ruler and just a scoring tool of some sort. On the short side, we are going to score it very simply at 1 inch and at 3 inches. I'm hoping, have I got it on there? Yes, I have. And then on the long side, you're going to score it at 1 inch. You're going to score it at 5 inches. You're going to score it at 6 inches. And you're going to score it at 10 inches. Now, I will put all of the measurements down below on a link through to my blog, so you can go and have a look at that later on if you want to. Okay, so what we need to do now is we need to burnish it on all sides. Let me just get my bits over so I've got everything to hand. So we just need to, with our bone folder, just literally burnish it on all of your score lines. So you've got your inch either side on here, and then on this one. So this is a nice easy project to make, but it will allow you to, you can do it in whatever cardstock you have. You can do it in whatever colour you want. We are just going to be using, obviously, that one stamp set. So always remember, your squares you notch into or you wedge into, your rectangles you cut just inside the score lines. So we're going to cut inside on here and then just wedge it up on there. And wedge it up on there. We wedge it because it makes the box close easier. And when you're making boxes, it's all in the preparation. I always say that. I had a friend who was used to do a lot of decorating and things like that, and he would spend hours, days, preparing the walls, sanding everything, taking it back, making sure it was absolutely smooth. And then when he got around to finally doing the painting, it looked absolutely amazing. And I'd always been somebody who'd literally just sort of slapped things on and didn't worry much about the preparation of everything. I just went ahead and all guns a blazing, and then wondered why it didn't look particularly good. So on the other side, we're going to do exactly the same. So we take it up on your rectangle straight up. And you can see I do this fairly slowly. There is never any rush in these things. I know for a video, you know, we try and rush things and we try and rush things. However, by doing it in real time like this, you can actually see that, you know, you do take a bit of time. Because if you take the time at this stage, when you put it together, it's going to go together absolutely beautifully. So take these little wedges off. You don't need huge wedges, just sort of little slivers. And then just on this last one. And again, if you're on a budget, which, as I say, I don't know about you, I'm on a budget at Christmas. I've got so many people and family to get little things for, and you know, things to go in stockings. They're the sort of wedges you want. So I tend to sort of, you know, try and get ahead of myself and get things going, but do something that's not going to be overly expensive. Okay, so now with these, we are going to, on these first 2 tabs here, we're just going to put some glue. So I use wet glue, A, because it lasts a long time, and B, because it allows just that little bit of maneuverability. You know, you can make sure you get everything in place first. So you need to make sure that this end is going to go butted up tight on there, so that you're looking at that corner to be as precise as you can get it. And you can see, because we've cut it, it lines up absolutely beautifully. So because we've had that little wedge, there's nothing sort of sticking out. And then we're going to do exactly the same with the other side. And again, you can see it fits absolutely perfectly. And it's lovely and flush. So as I say, with the wet glue, just hold it just for a few seconds more. Now with these 2 pieces, exactly the same thing. So we are going to just put our wet glue on these. Oh, I've missed out a little wedge there. We're going to put our glue on here. Now you can put it flat down to do it. I'm doing it like this so you can see it a little bit better. So on both of these pieces, says me with it folding down on myself. Right, let's turn it round and do this little side. When you're gluing, make sure that you go right up to that seam, because that's where you want it to fold neatly. And these ones tuck in, so they form the base of your box. So we're just going to put that up in like that. And again, make sure that seam's nice and straight, and then just hold it down for a few seconds. Turn round to the other side, and again, just make sure that that's nice and straight. And as with the wet glue, it does allow you to just maneuver it about just a little bit. Okay, so now the top piece will come in, and we want these pieces to go in underneath as well. So we're just going to add our glue on here. Like that. And then add our glue in on this bit. Like that up to the sides. And then we're just going to put these in. Now what I tend to do is, so let's make sure that they're going inside. On there, and I tend to close my box first and then tuck these pieces in, so that I know that my box is going to close nicely. So on this side, so I've got my actual box itself closed, and then I'm making sure, because if you've cut it just slightly out, which occasionally it happens, it means that you know that your box is going to open nicely. So I'm just making sure that that's square in on here, and then making sure that both those sides. So you now know that you've got a nice fit in there, and that your box will open beautifully. Okay, so we can just take those pieces on there. So you now have a really nice looking box. Now, we need a little 1-inch punch. Or anything you've got that you can just do a little finger thumb hole. And the 1-inch punch literally fits perfectly up in here. You can butt it right the way up to the top, and you're just going to nip a little piece out. Okay, so then when you close it, you can see that you've got a nice little piece to be able to open it up like that. Okay, so there's your box. You can fill it with, as I say, whatever you want. It's quite a good roomy size, so all sorts of things from, you know, jewellery and chocolates and yes, any sort of little treat you want. Okay, so now we're going to go down to taking our stamp set. So all we've used is one sheet of the cardstock, and we've made 2 boxes from that. So let's get the stamp set out, and we have cut, because we want to have a piece that goes on here. So this measures 4 inches by 2 inches. So I've cut a piece of red cardstock, and this is 1/8 of an inch smaller. So you just need to cut it 1/8 of an inch, or, you know, a sliver smaller on there. And then your piece of Whisper White is going to be 1/8 of an inch smaller again. So that will be a total of 1/4 of an inch. So if that's 4, this will be 3 3/4. That's 2. That'll be 1 3/4. So on this piece, we're now going to do our image. So we're going to make, what do we make on this one? We made this one with the lovely little tree like that. I think we'll do this one with the other one on there. So I want a joyful Christmas to you at the top. So I'm going to stamp that first, and I'm going to do that in the cherry cobbler. So let me get my cherry cobbler out. And I'm going to take that up to the top, as near to the top as I can, because I want the tree to come into the rest of the space. But if I've put that in, then I know where my measurements are. Grid paper is great because it helps you to line everything up so you know that you're going to get it as straight as possible. And I'm going to have to slide it down, because otherwise my head is going to come straight into the camera, and it may well do, because I want to try and get this right at the top. So as near to the top as I can. Stamp it down, and we've got a joyful Christmas to you, which is rather nice. So let me just clean this one off. And then we are going to use, now I need to look on sizes. So we've got, let's have a look. If we, let's see if we've got room for this second vase. So if I put that one down at the bottom, and I put the Christmassy tree up, we've got to have a little, is that going to come up on there, or is that going to, oof, we might just get it. Okay, we're going to have to be a little bit clever with this, but I think we should just about fit it in there. Okay, so we'll take the, well, we could have the flat vase. No, I want to try both of them so you can see both of them out, which are rather nice. So this one we are going to do in, I like pots and things to be quite neutral. So I'm going to do my pot in crumb cake. And again, use what inks you've got. If you've only got a couple of colours of ink, then just use those colours, because it works out really, really well. So this I want right down at the bottom as far as I can get it. So I'm going to put it down like that. There we go. And you can see the distinctive, it just means that, can you see, you get all of that sort of light and dark shading on it just by stamping, so you don't have to do anything sort of more to it. Now this has a rather nice little sort of branchy thing that comes through. Now with little ones, pop it down on the work surface first so that the actual stamp relaxes and sticks to your fingers, which it does with photopolymer. And then we're just going to take the block to it to pick it up. Okay, so we want this to go right down into the bottom. So I want to do this slightly darker. So I'm going to take, I think I'm going to take soft suede for this one. So let's grab some soft suede. Put that on. And then this is, I'm doing it at an angle like this so that's because of my lights. So take that in like that, put that down there. And that's your little branches, which I think is rather clever. So you get everything on there and you just sort of build it up. Okay, so now we're going to have our holly tree. And that's going to be in, let's put that down on there. That's going to be in the garden green, which will go with the cardstock we used. And again, use what you've got. You don't have to use these particular colours. You can do your box just in white cardstock, if white cardstock's all you've got. Okay, so this, we want this to, says me, I'm going to have to put my head down here in the minute because we want this to come through in the middle of these ones. So this one on there, that one on there, that one on there, and they should come into the middle. You can do it the other way round. So you can do your holly leaves first and then put your branch through, but it works quite well. And I wanted it to be able to line up because literally a joyful Christmas fits right at the top. Because when I was designing the size of the box, I wanted it to work perfectly with this particular stamp set. So I wanted everything to line absolutely perfectly up with that. Okay, so now we can add a little bit of something to here. So we've got on here, there's little berries if you want berries, and there's also these lovely little stars. So I think this one's going to be full of stars. So little tiny star, little tiny block, and we need to have a yellowy gold colour for this one. So there's two that I could use. In fact, I am going to use, let's use the where have I put it? Have I got it down on here? I've got some of the new, here it is, the new Delicata Celestial Copper. It's a metallic ink and I'm really impressed with this. So if you haven't got metallic ink, just use yellow. But I thought that it would be quite nice to just add this on here. Because as I say, the idea with all of the crafting is you use what you've got. So I'm going to take the little gold ones there. And I'm just putting them in between where the branches come. And we can get 4 on here down at the bottom as if they're little sort of hanging ornaments. Let's put a 3 in on here, so I'll have one sort of in the middle because it comes over the top, and I'm just going to tuck a little one down on that side and then a little one sort of down on that side. You can decorate it up as much as you want. I'm just trying to keep it relatively simple because there's not a huge amount of room at the top. If you use the other basket, so the other flower planter, it comes a little bit smaller, so you could get a little tree thing on the top of there if you wanted to. But I think that this gold actually looks really pretty. But again, the yellow, this one, you can see, I just used yellow on it. And again, you've got a lovely sort of look on there, and I've used the little berries on that one. On this one, as I say, I've just used the copper ink. So if you have any of that, you can see hopefully, you can see the shimmer on there. That's quite nice. So all we're left to do is to just pop this on here. And just put some glue around. Again, whatever your preferred adhesive is, use that. And we're going to put this one in on the centre, and as I say, you've got your little 1/8 of an inch border, so try and line it up as best you can. In on there. And then we're going to take our little box, make sure we've got it opening the right way. And just put our glue in on there. You can see how this wet glue lasts for ages and ages because you just need a tiny little bit, and it is so strong. And then we're just going to put that with our little 1/8 of an inch, whoops, 1/8 of an inch border on there. You can move it just a little bit like that. And there you have 2 boxes. Let's move that out of the way. You've got 2 boxes, 2 different sort of designs. And again, you can leave the box as it is. You will find that these little pieces here will just stick out a little bit because that's sort of the design. So if you do put a ribbon on it, you can see that they hold in quite nicely. You can use a belly band. You will have a little tiny strip of paper left over, so you can put a belly band on there, whatever you fancy doing. So I hope you enjoyed that. Hope you enjoyed the first one. Do come back because I will be doing another 4 projects with this one stamp set. So if you want to get the stamp set in readiness, it's Beauty and Joy and it's only £15. So all the details will be below. So look forward to seeing you shortly. Bye-bye.